The reality is that guy's partying, and he's partying real hard. And he talked about it in the court case. You know, he's talking about cocaine. Like that was the whole thing, that we're all doing cocaine.
And saying is this: when you knock a champion who's been that dominant and that good for 10 years out in 14 seconds,
13.
there is a question, which is, was that in some ways
Joe Rogan, the voice of reason in combat sports and an MMA icon in his own right, just threw cold water on the hype surrounding a potential Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor showdown. Rogan didn't just dismiss the idea, he torched it. He called out the absurdity of a YouTuber turned boxer thinking he can square up with one of the most dangerous strikers in MMA history. While McGregor's career has seen plenty of turbulence since his Mayweather bout, Rogan made it clear, Jake Paul's rise through the ranks isn't grounded in combat credibility, it's built on spectacle. And McGregor, despite his current struggles, is still in another universe when it comes to actual fighting pedigree.
That's him now. He's super jacked.
He looks like a bodybuilder.
See, that's what he looks like now. He's still jacked. Still looks great. He looks good, though.
Whoa.
He looks so old now.
He looks different.
Perhaps the most important fight of your career. Give us your thoughts on this rematch. He should have killed me when he had the chance, because now I'm back and I'm going to kill you and your whole team. You and their kids. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants. That's what I dreamed into reality.
What followed was Vintage Rogan, a passionate, unfiltered breakdown of the spectacle surrounding Paul versus McGregor. He wasn't trying to predict a winner or dissect stats. This was Rogan going full throttle, calling out the madness and enjoying every second of it. If you were expecting a calm analysis, forget it. This was a roast with uppercuts.
And that is that a lot of fighters, when they've sustained a significant amount of damage.
Jake Paul's trolling has become legendary, and Rogan was the first to admit it. Jake's mastered the game of headlines, controversy, and attention. He's a master troll, Rogan said, half amused, half annoyed. And credit where it's due, Jake's turned chaos into a business model. He's the guy cracking jokes at a funeral and somehow still getting paid for it. But when it comes to Jake's boxing resume, Rogan pulled no punches. Sure, Jake has knocked out a few names, but let's be honest, they were names, not threats. Askren, Woodley, Silva, they were all out of their prime or completely out of their element. Rogan conceded Jake has real power in his hands, but cautioned fans not to confuse theatrics with true fight legitimacy. If Jake weren't famous from YouTube, Rogan argued, we'd be viewing his boxing career with a whole lot more skepticism.
Now I think people are coming around. I say, if this kid was not a YouTuber, if he wasn't some guy that you knew from the time he was like 16 years old on YouTube, and you just saw him box, and you saw him knock out former UFC champions, you saw him beat legitimate boxers, or beat athletes, and beat a bunch of MMA fighters, you'd go, this kid can fight. He knows how to fight. It's not, nothing he's doing looks wrong. He's not like sticking his head straight up in the air and winging punches with his eyes closed. He's fighting well.
And then there's Conor McGregor, once the king of the UFC jungle, now a walking tabloid headline. Rogan didn't hold back in diagnosing McGregor's downfall. The skill is still there, Rogan said, but the man behind the skills lost focus. McGregor's decline wasn't about technique, it was a mental collapse fueled by fame, excess, and self-destruction. Rogan recalled the early McGregor, the hungry, fast-talking assassin who could back up every word. But the fame? It swallowed him whole. From whiskey ventures to court cases, McGregor's name has been everywhere except the top of the fight game. He's still jacked, sure, Rogan added, but what's that worth if you're surrounded by chaos? It's been less of a comeback story and more of a cautionary tale unraveling in real time.
Looks good, and if he was just an up-and-coming boxer that was this exciting, like highly promotable, like really good at selling fights, you'd be like, this kid's the future.
To Rogan, the tragedy of McGregor is that we all saw what could have been. This was the guy who knocked out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds. The first double champ. A fighter with charisma, power, and unmatched precision. He didn't just win, he took over. But Rogan painted a clear timeline. After McGregor's peak, the fall began. From bus attacks to random scraps outside the cage, he went from champ to circus act, Rogan said. The once feared warrior had turned into a spectacle, entertaining, sure, but unrecognizable from the focused fighter that once electrified the sport. Rogan didn't hide his disappointment. He saw McGregor not just as a fighter but as a force, now reduced to drama and distractions.
I don't know if Conor's ever going to fight again.
What's happening with his the civil suit? He's being dropped by all his companies or something?
Yeah, I don't know the real details of that case, but the reality is that guy's partying, and he's partying real hard.
Of course, no McGregor saga would be complete without bringing up the infamous bus attack, the one where he hurled a dolly through a window, endangering fighters and staff. Rogan called it what it was, a chaotic meltdown broadcast to the world. That wasn't warrior behavior, he said. That was someone spiraling. And it didn't stop there. Rogan took aim at the partying, the wild nights, the drug rumors. Alleged cocaine use, non-stop drinking, zero discipline. You can't run a championship career on that, he said bluntly. While McGregor insists he's plotting a comeback, Rogan's take is grim. You're swerving into every lane but the fighting one. Until McGregor gets serious, Rogan doubts he'll ever reclaim what he once had.
Which is Dylan Dennis is a professional fighter. He's a professional fighter. He jumps out, he takes a swing at him. They're screaming, and Dylan's like, "Fuck you," and he's like, "Fuck you," and there's a bunch of people get involved, and then a bunch of other people jump in. The whole thing was nuts. But the idea that we should be shocked after him throwing a dolly at a bus because Khabib's on the bus, those Russians don't fucking play like that, man.
Yeah.
And let's not ignore the elephant in the room, McGregor's ongoing legal turmoil. From losing major endorsements to dealing with a high-profile civil suit stemming from a Dublin assault allegation, his personal life has become a PR disaster. Rogan didn't gloss over it, he hammered home the truth: McGregor's legacy is taking serious damage. All the flashy Instagram workouts in the world can't distract from the unraveling reality. The edge, the fire, the magnetic swagger that once made McGregor a global icon? Rogan thinks it's faded. What's left is a man still clinging to an image that no longer matches the reality.
Accused the mixed martial arts fighter Conor McGregor of raping her in a hotel in Dublin 6 years ago has won a civil case against him. The jury has found McGregor liable and ordered him to pay Nikita Hand €250,000 in damages.
Talk of McGregor's comeback is circulating again, but for Rogan, it's just that, talk. After the brutal leg break in 2021, McGregor teased a triumphant return, but Rogan isn't buying the hype. The physical injury is only one layer. Rogan points to the mountain of distractions, legal battles, business ventures gone sideways, public meltdowns, and questions whether McGregor even has the bandwidth to train like he used to. While the fans hope for redemption, Rogan's skepticism is hard to argue with. McGregor's comeback looks more like a fantasy than a plan.
Fighter Conor McGregor has been accused of sexually assaulting a woman after an NBA basketball game in Miami earlier this month. A legal letter outlining the allegations was sent to Mr. McGregor and seen by BBC News. It says the alleged assault took place in a bathroom at an arena in Miami. The woman's lawyer said she'd been watching Game 4 of the finals on Friday the 9th of June before the alleged incident happened. She alleged the woman was forced into a men's bathroom by security guards from the NBA and Miami Heat before being violently assaulted by Mr. McGregor.
Now, before anyone writes Jake Paul off as a glorified influencer, Rogan urges fans to pump the brakes. After Jake's KO win over Tyron Woodley, Rogan admitted Paul's no joke. He's not just play fighting for clicks anymore. Rogan made it clear, Paul's got real knockout power. His technique still has gaps, sure, but he's training like a pro, sparring real fighters, and putting in serious work with elite names like Canelo Alvarez and Ryan Garcia. Rogan sees the transformation. Jake might have started as a troll, but now he's a threat.
As for Conor, is that ever happening? Or
I don't know if Conor's ever going to fight again.
what's happening with his he just got like the civil suit or whatever, and he's being dropped by all his companies or something?
Yeah.
Rogan still respects McGregor's striking, it's how he built his empire. That precision and knockout power made him a household name. But Rogan is quick to clarify that it's not just about physical decline, it's about a lifestyle that's wrecked McGregor's focus. The partying, the lavish living, the spiraling drama, it's all taken a toll. Rogan believes McGregor's real downfall was trading discipline for indulgence. His success gave him too much, too fast, and rather than doubling down in the gym, McGregor veered into chaos. It wasn't age that defeated him. It was distraction.
As a boxer?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And listen, what Jake Paul has accomplished is he's fighting old guys.
Yes.
He's fighting, all he fights are old guys and whatever. But listen, say what you want, he wins. And he makes money. So he's doing his thing, you know.
And here's where Jake Paul continues to rise. Love him or hate him, Rogan says you can't deny the progress. Jake's no longer just dabbling, he's investing, grinding, and growing as a legitimate boxer. The difference is stark. While McGregor's trying to resurrect the past, Jake is building momentum for the future. He's younger, healthier, and laser-focused. Rogan points out that Jake's evolution into a professional is happening in real time, while McGregor's days of dominance feel increasingly like distant memories. The question Rogan keeps asking, does Conor still have that killer instinct, or did he cash it in with the fame?
Jake Paul, it's clear to me you are desperate for a reality check. You know what, if I made my money impressing 4-year-olds on YouTube and managed to somehow become a multi-millionaire from it, I'd probably live in a dream world too. But let me explain something to you about combat sports. There are a whole bunch of men out here who will never be as famous as you, will never make the money you've made, who would kick the living fuck out of you. This is the hardest sport in the world, and people dedicate their lives to this, and most of them never get a payday. It never pays off for the majority of fighters, all of which would fuck you up.
So, bottom line, could Jake Paul actually beat Conor McGregor in a boxing ring? Rogan won't say it's a sure thing, but he's not laughing at the idea anymore. McGregor's been through the wars, the injuries, the lawsuits, the distractions. Meanwhile, Jake's putting in road work, studying tape, and sharpening his craft. On McGregor's best day, Rogan admits Jake wouldn't last. But the problem is, those best days might be long gone. Rogan's conclusion? Jake Paul may not be a world-class boxer, but he's more dangerous than people think. And McGregor? He may have already missed his last shot.